Good morning, Vaishnav and his team. And this was the point where we left. This was given as a assignment. So one or two we solved in the session, and remaining uh, numericals were given as homework or the assignment. I think you might have done, or I don't know. So if time is not available, at least today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, so kindly work out all these numericals which carries 3 or 5 marks. Hmm? Yeah. So now after working out numericals, now this also I gave as a homework numerical, and this was the step I solved. Its recorded version is available in the school website. Okay, and this is today's topic of discussion. Hmm? So I welcome for today's session on solubility. Solubility. So soluble, miscible, mixable. So those equivalent words which gives the almost same meaning. Hmm? So it is the amount of solute which is dissolved in a solvent. Now to know the how much of a particular chemical is soluble or mixable or made to dissolve in a particular solvent. So what we'll do, so we will fix the amount of solvent. 1 kilogram of solvent or 1 liter of a solvent or 100 gram of a solvent or 100 ml of a solvent. So we'll fix first solvent. In that solvent, how many grams of a particular chemical is soluble. Then we'll come to know easily whether it is one is soluble more or less. So 100 gram of water is taken in 2 glasses. So in both the glasses you add in one glass common salt, in another glass sugar. So you will come to know in 100 gram of water, that is solvent, which one is soluble more. So on that we conclude that this is a chemical, whether sugar or sodium, that you should do the activity. So this is soluble more than this. Hmm? So to know the solubility of a particular chemical, first we will fix the amount of solvent. Therefore, the solubility meaning is what? It can be defined as the measure of maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in a quantified, in a known amount of solvent. Okay. So it is the maximum amount. Means what? You take 100 gram of water and first pinch of salt, second pinch of salt. So go on adding pinch by pinch. A time will come where one extra pinch will remain as it is. So it will remain insoluble, undissolved. Now enough. So excluding that little amount, whatever remaining amount is, that is taken as what? Soluble. So that's why, so maximum amount of solute should dissolve in the known amount of a solvent. That is nothing but what? Solubility of that chemical. Okay, so one example here, 10 gram of glucose powder soluble in 90 gram of water. So 90 gram of water if you take, in that how much glucose is soluble? It is 10 gram. So if you want to calculate for the 100%, so in the 90, 10 gram, in the 100, how much? Normal method, like that. Okay. So maybe little more than 10 you will get, that is the percentage of solubility. Okay, right. And the solubility depends upon the some factors. Number one, the nature of solute and solvent and the interaction between them. Hmm. If solvent and solute are friendly, if they can mix well, then you can expect more solubility. So solute is ready to mix, but solvent, no, no, no. I don't want you. I want some different chemical. Okay. Petrol says I don't want sodium chloride. Petrol says I want iodine. Because of the property, structure part, polarity, organic, inorganic. So all those are there, no? So it depends upon the solute and the solvent interactions. If interactions are more, if they like, then solubility we can expect. Second, what? Molecular size of solute. If you go to the microscopic level, so in the solvent molecules, there are some gaps. Okay, in that gap, if the solute size is fixed well, aram se it will mix soluble. If solute particles are bigger in size or slightly more than the size of the solvent molecules, that time it is sparingly soluble or insoluble. Hmm? Polarity. So there is a one saying. So polar solvents like water, ethanol, formaldehyde, where we have the positive pole and the negative pole. That is what polar. Okay. So dissolve polar solutes. So NaCl in water, both are polar. NaCl polar, water polar. Okay. So whereas non-polar, where they don't have poles, so they are soluble in the normally organic solvents, because organic solvents they don't have the polarity. So that means there is a one rule: water like dissolves like, and unlike dissolves unlike. So it is their agreement adjustment. Okay, I like this person, so I am making friendship with him. So that's why I am mixing like that. It is okay. So polar molecules they normally dissolve in the water, because water is a polar. Alcohol also polar. Okay, so in the polar, polar molecules will dissolve, and in the non-polar, non-polar will dissolve. Temperature. Rise in temperature increases the solubility. Okay, while making tea, you might have experienced. First, you put one or two tablespoonful of sugar to make the tea, 1 cup of tea. By chance, if your friend says, "I want a more sweet, Baba, please add one more spoon." So you'll add and you'll boil. It will dissolve. Actually, 2 spoons is enough to dissolve in a glass of water to make a tea. But because he wants more sweet, so one extra spoon will be added. But that is made to soluble in the high temperature. We boil it. So higher the temperature or rise in temperature increases the solubility due to the kinetic motion. All those. Okay, right. Pressure. So rise in pressure increase the solubility. Okay, definitely. So when the pressure is more, solubility is more. Okay, so when the gas is compressed at high pressure, so it is more soluble. That is there in the chemistry. So gas in the liquid, more the pressure of the gas, more soluble it is in the particular solvent. That is there. Okay. Now we have to discuss small topics here. Okay. So regarding solubility only. So first I will discuss. We will discuss solubility of a solid in a liquid. Solid in liquid. Okay, and here now we are discussing about the liquid solutions. What is meant by liquid solutions? Liquid solutions means liquid is a solvent. Liquid is a solvent. Solid in the liquid, gas in the liquid, liquid in the liquid. But liquid is a solvent. When the liquid is a solvent, so when the solutions are made by taking liquid as a solvent, those are called as liquid solutions. So here solid is solute, liquid is solvent. So that's why it is called as a liquid solution, where solid is dissolving in the liquid. So let us discuss solubility of a solid in a liquid. Yeah. So solution of sugar or salt dissolved, they are all common examples of solubility of solid in liquid. But it is not necessary that all solids will dissolve. Though salt and sugar are soluble, okay, but not every solid is soluble in the liquid. Only some are soluble, depend upon the structure part. Okay, so therefore, the solid which is not soluble, that is not taken here. Only those solids which are soluble in the liquid, which can go for the liquid solutions, only those are studied under this topic known as solubility of a solid in a liquid. Okay. Now here many words we have to learn. What is meant by dissolution? What is meant by crystallization? So crystallization is in a general way. So formation of the crystals. For example, sodium chloride we get from the seawater is a crude, impure, that is taken to the laboratory where by passing some gas, HCl gas, so we remove some impurities. Then it is made concentrated. Then by adding the water, some chemicals where it can absorb color impurity, that is also done. So that means more and more NaCl is made purified. Then we boil it, we filter it, we keep it aside. So when the water evaporates, automatically crystals of sodium chloride comes out. Again it is made to soluble, again repeated crystallization. that gives you the almost pure NaCl crystal, which is checked by the melting point, because melting point and the boiling point are the characteristic properties of solids and the liquids respectively. So whatever whatever you get crystals of sodium chloride after repeated crystallization and filtration, and you go for the melting point. If your melting point is tallied with the standard melting point given the table, then whatever you have made is the pure NaCl. So those two are called what? Dissolution and the crystallization. And one more important point here, according to Le-Chatelier's principle, in a saturated solution, if the dissolution process is endothermic, the solubility should increase with rise in temperature. See, you are mixing solid in a liquid. By chance, after mixing solid in a liquid, if that process, dissolution process, okay, soluble process, if it is endothermic, okay, that means by supplying heat energy, if it is made to soluble in a liquid, that time, so what happens if it is endothermic in nature, then by increasing temperature, what happens? What is endothermic? Endothermic is the one which will absorb heat. Okay, so it will take the heat. So that time if you supply, no, solubility will decrease. Okay, so solubility will increase with rise in temperature because it is endothermic. Endothermic is taking, endo is to absorb, exo is to give out. So by chance your dissolution of a solid in a liquid is endothermic, that time according to Le-Chatelier's principle of 11th class, so rise in temperature or increase in temperature, so will increase the solubility. If it is exothermic, ulta. Okay, so depend upon the process, endo, exo, according to balance, no, whatever disturbance happens, so it will automatically set it. That is the three important points from this topic of discussion. Now, solubility of a gas in liquid. This is also liquid solution only. But here solidity is what? Gas. Solubility is gas. Gas in liquid. Many examples are there. Most of the soft drinks, aerated water or soda water, all those comes under the what? Solubility of gas in a liquid. So some gas are less soluble, so they are made to soluble by applying pressure. Okay, that's why soda water or the soft drinks, they are packed under high pressure, because under normal condition they are less soluble. So to make it more soluble, they apply pressure. So they are soluble. So the moment you open using the opener, you are decreasing the pressure. So automatically the gas comes out, which has dissolved. So that all happens. Yeah. Now, there is a scientist, French scientist Henry. So he gave a law. So the law is known as what? Henry's law. So Henry's law, it is for what? It is for a solubility of a gas in a liquid. So liquid solution where gas is a solute. Okay. What the gas liquid combination? Okay. This is for gas liquid combination. What the law says? At constant temperature. What is meant by constant temperature? Normal temperature. What we are room temperature. Okay. So constant pressure is normal pressure. What we are, I am sitting in the normal pressure. I am sitting in the atmosphere pressure or constant pressure. So pressure in Bijapur, pressure in the Russia. So globally, this pressure, that is atmosphere pressure, is taken as a constant. That is the idea behind the constant pressure. So constant pressure means atmospheric pressure. Okay. Constant temperature means room temperature. Okay, right. So according to the law, at a constant temperature, the solubility of gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. Yeah. Carbon dioxide is sparingly soluble in the water. Okay. But by applying the pressure, so solubility increases. So what is the law says? Solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. More the pressure, more it is soluble. Less the pressure, so let it is soluble. So if the pressure on the gas is more, okay, it is made to soluble more. That is called Henry's law. Same principle we use in the day-to-day life in making the soft drinks. So mathematically, so P equal to KH into X, or P is proportional to the X here, that is X is the mole fraction. So normally solubility is expressed in terms of mole fraction. What is mole fraction? Number of moles in that part of a mole in that water liquid solution. Okay, so more the pressure, more is the gas. So more is the gas, mole fraction of the gas. That is the meaning here. Okay, so pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction, that is x. Okay, by removing the proportionality sign, so we keep some constant. That constant is called as what? H. Henry's constant, Kh. Okay, so at the same temperature, different values, different gases have different kh. So kh will have different values. So at the same temperature, but for the different gases, for CO2 different kh, for H2 different kh. So depend upon the kh value, so taken from the table, ready-made table. So we will make soft drinks. How much carbon dioxide is there, so how much helium is there in the liquefaction. Okay, so all those we calculate, and accordingly we go for the applying the pressure of a gas in the liquid solution. And it is a function of the nature of the gas. Okay, so at a given pressure, increase in the value of kh implies lower solubility of the gas. You please take on this equation. What is kh equal to here? Kh equal to p upon x. It's equal to some disturbance is coming from some area. I think it is from Shivang Sahu. So no problem. So kindly Shivang, so restrict the disturbances. Okay, okay. Now it is now he can control, right? Huh. Let us come to the equation now. Let us come to the equation. P equal to kh into x mole fraction. So what is kh here? Kh equal to p upon x. P upon x. If we want value for the kh more, so then mole fraction of the that particular gas at the denominator should be less. Means what? Lesser the mole fraction means what? More the value of kh. So when the kh is more, it means mole fraction is less. It means it is less soluble. So at a given pressure, increasing the value of kh implies lower solubility. So value of kh increases with increase in temperature. When the temperature is more, value of kh becomes more, solubility becomes less. So what is the impact here? Solubility of gas increases with decreasing temperature. That's why you might have seen, no, soda water bottle or soft drink bottle are not kept in the open. They are kept in the refrigerator. Okay, or in the one big container full of water is there. In that they put some ice cubes, cold condition. In that they put all those bottles. You might have seen the trip or in the market. Okay, so this is what application of Henry's law in day-to-day life. Yeah. One more is what? Due to this reason, cold water is more sustainable or favorable for aquatic life than warm water. So warm water, it is less soluble oxygen. So problem for the aquatic life. So normal temperature, normal life, normal pressure for the aquatic life is best. So too much heat, so maybe 48, 50, 60 temperature due to some reason in a particular area, a desert. So there is a problem for the aquatic life. Here is one numerical on the Henry's law. So H2S, which is a toxic gas with a rotten egg smell, is used for the qualitative analysis, salt analysis in the practicals of 11th and 12th. If the solubility of H2S in water at STP, same temperature pressure or standard temperature pressure is 0.195 m. Small m is molarity and capital M is molarity. Calculate Henry's law constant Kh. Okay, so what is given here? H2S at STP is 0.195 m. Okay, so that means what? It is molality means what? 0.195 mole of H2S is dissolved in the 1 kilogram of water according to the molality definition of 11th class and this year solution of the first session. Okay, so what is the number of moles of H2S? It is 0.195 mole. Okay, right. Now, what is the moles of water? We know the gram of water mass. So how to convert in terms of moles? So given mass by the molar mass. What is the given mass here? So it is a 0.195 mole in the 1000 gram of water. So 1000 gram of water means how many moles? Given mass is 1000. So 1000 by molar mass 18 gram. So 1000 by 18 gram. That is the moles of water which is equal to 55.56 I have taken here calculated. So number of moles of H2S is 0.195 mole, and number of moles of water, it is 5.56 mole. So both now we are done in the moles. Now what is the mole fraction of H2S? So what is the mole fraction of particular sample? So mole fraction of A in A plus B equal to what? Number of moles of A by number of moles of A plus B, or total number of moles. In the same way, mole fraction MF of H2S equal to what? Moles of H2S by total moles. So what is moles of H2S? It is 0.195 total mole. That gives you 0.0035 what? Mole fraction of the H2S, that is X value for mole for the H2S. Okay. Now at STP, what is the pressure? This is given in the 11th class states of matter chapter, where we learned gas laws. Okay. R, gas constant value. So what is STP? What are the conditions of the temperature and the pressure? It is in terms of bar, it is 0.987 bar. It is understood. Or in terms of millimeter mercury, it is 1 millimeter mercury. So 1 millimeter mercury is always close to the 0.987 bar. Small difference here. So both are taken as what? Standard pressure conditions. Okay. So because I have taken in the bar, therefore in the bar it is pressure equal to 0.987. Okay, right. So Henry's equation is what? P equal to kh into x. So what is kh? It is P by x. So what is P? 0.0987 according to the what? This what? Bar. Hmm? So by this is actually 0.987. Hmm? Please take this value, correct it. So by x value 0.035 calculated, that gives you 282 bar. Okay, so the pressure equal to what? 282 bar. Mole fraction has no value, no unit. So it is a bar by the mole fraction, that is bar only. So pressure unit is in the bar. Yeah. So this one what? This one applications of the Henry's law. So soft drinks I explained. This is one more example where the one who is doing research work in the ocean, so that is called oceanography. So where they study different animals, plants, or the nature of sea water deep inside. So though those are called what? Scuba divers. In water they go deep inside. Okay, so they are trained because at the deep inside, so pressure is very high. So when the pressure is very high, that time the solubility of water, whatever we inhale, that becomes more. So oxygen is used for the metabolism, not a problem. But it is the nitrogen which is making problem, because nitrogen's kh value is more, more than the oxygen from the table. So it is more soluble at a high pressure in the deep inside. So let it soluble. So when the scuba diver comes to the surface level, so from bottom to the top, the time it is decreasing the pressure. So due to decreasing the pressure, suddenly the dissolved N2 will come out. So if it come out from the blood vessels, so we get a kind of pain. Okay, that is called a bend in the medical technology. So a lot of pain is there. That's why suddenly it is not allowed to come to the surface level. They are trained. They are trained. So thoroughly they are trained. Plus whatever they take cylinder, it is not only containing the oxygen, nitrogen. Along with that, helium is there, because helium's kh value is more than the nitrogen. Okay, so more the kh value, less is soluble. So it is not only less soluble in the our blood vessel, but also it is controlling the nitrogen. Okay, so all these calculations they do, and they go for the correct composition of the air composition, which is required for the scuba divers only, and they are trained. Slowly they have to push the water, then stepwise they have to come up. Suddenly they are not allowed to come up. Okay, so all these depends upon the that is the application of the Henry's law in the day-to-day life. And one more application is what? At high altitudes. Okay, so Himalayan range. So there the pressure of the air is less. So when the pressure is less, so oxygen solubility is less, because more the pressure, more the mole fraction, more solubility. Less the pressure, less the mole fraction, less solubility. So all these Henry's law. So on the top, so where the pressure is less, so we face shortage of oxygen. Okay, so without training, if you go there, so we get a problem, headache, chakkar, dizziness, all those will happen. And in general, that medical term is what? Anoxia. So oxia means with oxygen, anoxia is without oxygen, means less oxygen, that is the meaning. So less supply of oxygen, so anoxia. So that's why, so thoroughly at the base camp they are trained, and slowly, day by day, height is increased. Suddenly, they are not taken to the highest level. Okay, so in the Nainital only we felt a little bit of problem. So with our boys, when we have taken the boys to Nainital, especially on the Naina peak, highest peak of Nainital. So in the beginning, they were taken to the lower level. So small peaks. In the last day of the camp, so we were taken to the highest peak. Slowly they give training. So like that, even for the mountain climbers, highest, that is Mount Everest. So all these trainings are given. All these examples depends upon what? Solubility of a gas in a liquid, that is Henry's law. Okay. So Henry's law best will make use in the life. It is there already in the life. Only thing is you have to find out. Now this is one more law, Raoult's law. So this law I told you know. So first session is for introduction. Second session is about the law. Third session is about the colligative property. All these. Okay. So totally 3 sessions for the solution chapter. So Raoult's law is for liquid solution. This is also liquid. This is also liquid solution only. So one liquid is solvent, other liquid is solute. So they may be volatile or they may be non-volatile, or one is more, one is less. So all those conditions are there. But it is a liquid combination. One liquid small quantity becomes the solute. One liquid more quantity, major quantity becomes the solvent. So it is a liquid solution. Liquid is a solvent. Okay, right. So what is the law states here? The law states that for a solution of volatile liquids, water, alcohol, ammonia, okay, acetic acid and the carbon disulfide and the alcohol, acetone and the alcohol, like that. So volatile liquids which goes to the vapor state, those are called as volatile liquids. So what is the law here? So the law states that for a solution of volatile liquids, the partial vapor pressure of each component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction, same like Henry's law. Same like Henry's law. For example, if I take a combination of water and the alcohol, okay, so alcohol is more volatile than the water. So in a mixture, if more alcohol is there, more vapors will come in the vapor state. Okay, so hardly 5 ml of water and 100 ml of alcohol. So that time, first of all, water is less volatile, so its vapors are less, and the amount of this alcohol is more. So more vapors of alcohol is there in the mixture. So what you do, you take in the container water and alcohol together and close it, and to that you fix one pressure meter to measure the pressure. Okay, so you will come to know that which pressure is more, you will come to know easily. So you do this one by taking different variations. So 10 ml water, 100 ml petrol or the alcohol, or 100 ml water, 10 ml petrol. So by the changing the concentration, so that time will come to know that more the mole fraction, more the amount of particular liquid in the liquid combination, more is the vapor pressure on the top. It goes to vapor pressure, no, on the top. So that is the Raoult's law, exactly similar to the Henry's law. Henry's law, Raoult's law, both are same. There it is gas in the liquid. Here it is liquid in the liquid. Only thing is constants are different. When the constants are similar, Henry's law becomes Raoult's law, and Raoult's law becomes the Henry's law. Okay, right. Okay. So P is proportional to the X, that is the mole fraction. So or by removing the proportionality sign, it becomes P naught. It becomes what? P naught. So P naught is what? P naught is the vapor pressure of a particular liquid or a component in the pure condition. Means what? You take petrol, only petrol, 1 liter, and close it. Its vapors comes in the beginning more and more, and afterwards condenses, again becomes petrol. Vapor condense, vaporization condense, and a stage will come where the rate of evaporation becomes equal to the rate of condensation of the petrol. That is called equilibrium between the liquid petrol and the gaseous petrol, vapor petrol. So when equilibrium is maintained, that time you measure the pressure using the pressure meter. All those apparatus are there in the physics. Mercury level you can see, that is the vapor pressure of that liquid. Here I have taken only petrol. But when you take the petrol and the water together, that time So petrol, water, both evaporates. Depending upon the nature, water evaporates less and petrol evaporates more. So in the mixture, on the top, we will have both vapors. So both vapors are there. So that time whether the pressure is becoming more or less, that you can measure easily by knowing the water vapor pressure of the pure component. So when separately alcohol is taken, what is its vapor pressure? But when it is taken with mixture, how much is the pressure? Or what is the pressure of the pure water alone separate taken? Or when the water is taken along with the petrol or the stone or the alcohol, how much is the total pressure? So all those we can calculate using the Raoult's law. And it is a linear equation. If you see the vapor pressure versus the mole fraction, so more the mole fraction, more the quantity, more is the vapor. So it is directly proportional, linear. Okay, right. I told already, Raoult's law becomes Henry's law when constant law becomes equal. Okay, right. Now vapor pressure of liquid solution. So gas in liquid, liquid in liquid now. Okay, here. So what you'll do, so we'll apply the 11th class knowledge, Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, so Dalton's law of partial pressure. So then we'll go ahead with this one. So there are two components, 1 and 2. So P1 is the partial vapor pressure of component 1, one liquid, and P2 is the partial vapor pressure of the second liquid. Okay, and X1 is the MF of the first liquid or the component. X2 is the mole fraction of the second component of the second liquid. Okay, so for the uh, mathematical equation. Yeah. So what is it? Now you have taken two liquids. Okay, both will be vapor pressure. This total. What is the total vapor pressure there? P total. That is pressure of the P1 and pressure of the P2. So Dalton's law of partial pressure is what? Says that the total pressure of the solution is the sum of the partial pressures of the components of the solution. So above the liquid surface, two vapors are there. Each will create its own pressure. So what is the total pressure? Total pressure is equal to the pressure created by the one component and the component of the other. That is P total equal to P1 plus P2. Okay, right. What is P1 here? P1 equal to X1 P1 naught according to the Raoult's law. Okay, so X2 P2 naught. So what is X1 here? So mole fraction of the one component, first component. So we know that mole fraction of the one and the mole fraction second equal to 1 only, no? So what is the mole fraction of X1? It is 1 minus X2. So in place of X1, I have taken 1 minus X2. So this is as usual. Okay, so don't make it as a 1 minus x2. So kindly take it as x2 only. So I am converting both in terms of you convert either both in terms of x2 or x1. You take this one as 1 minus x2, keep it as x2, or you take this as 1 minus x1. This is x1. Okay, so both in one term only. But please correct, is a mistake here. You take it as what? X2 only. Okay, this is what? X1 equal to 1 minus x2 P1 naught and x2 P2 naught. Okay, right. Now, after the removing the bracket, P1 naught minus P1 naught x2 and P2, this is the P2 naught x2. So here x2 common. So x2 into bracket P2 naught minus P1 naught. Okay, this P1 naught is here only. So this is what P total equal to P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into x2. Okay. Notice P1 equal to Y1 P total. Which one? P1 equal to, see, uh, see what is the mole fraction of now A and B are there. Okay. So what is the mole fraction of A? So mole fraction of A equal to number of moles of A by number of moles of A and the B both. So here, which mixture you have taken, component you have taken, it is liquid and the liquid only, no? So vapors are there. So when vapors are there, both vapors are there, that time the best word is not mole fraction only, but not in terms of the solute, that solid, in terms of the vapor, its pressure. So vapor, when A and B are liquids are there, now on the top A vapors and B vapors are there in the mixture. So in that vapor pressure, in that mixture, A vapor, B vapor mixture, what is the mole fraction of A? So mole fraction of A equal to pressure of the A by total pressure. That That is taken here. So pressure 1 equal to P total into mole fraction of the one component. In the same way, this one, if there are many components A, B, C, D, Z, so it is what? Pn equal to Yn into P total. This is the general equation for the Dalton's law of partial pressure using the mole fraction and Dalton's law. So this is a combination of Raoult's law, Dalton's law, and the Henry's law. Okay. Yeah. Vapor pressure of a solution of solids in liquids. Okay. So then what is there here? So this we'll discuss in our next session. Okay. So for this I require a separate session. So till now about the liquid solution. Now we are going to discuss about the solids in the liquids. When the solids are dissolved in the liquids, what is the impact of vapor pressure of the liquid? Okay, the liquid. This is also example for liquid solution only. But here solid is the solute. So there in the Henry law, gas was the solute. In the Raoult's law, liquid was the solute. Here solid in the liquid. So solid is the solute. So that solid is a non-volatile or the volatile, we don't know. So liquid is the generally volatile. If that is the combination, so what is the impact on the vapor pressure? That we'll discuss by taking a short break of 20 minutes. So please come back after 20 minutes for the next period. Till then, have a nice break. Thank you. I will go for the recording, converting into MP4. Thank you, my dear students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.